It is week one of a brand new season here in the Raiders franchise. We are kicking off year three as we head back on the road to take on Jacksonville. We were here last year on the road and it did not go our way. But we are looking for revenge after what was an embarrassing game for us last year against Jacksonville. We have come here with a bunch of new defensive pieces. We have come here with DeAndre Hopkins on offense. We have reloaded on the defensive side of the ball with J.C. Horn, taking Ellis Travis with the 11th pick, Eric Armstead, and trading for Jeremy Chin, and we have other players that we brought in. We are so excited to be kicking off year three. Can this improved Raiders team live up to some of the hype that we have going into this year? Last year we missed the playoffs by one game, and with a much better roster, we should be in prime position for the playoffs. Let's kick off a brand new season of Raider football. Daniel Carlson is on the field to boot it deep, and the Jaguars will be getting the football first. A new season underway, year three, as Trevor Lawrence will take the field, and Trevor Lawrence did a number on this team last year, putting up a historical performance, one of the greatest passing yardage games in NFL history, as the numbers show on the screen. 529 yards and 4 touchdowns, over 40 completions. It was an incredible day for Trevor Lawrence last year, but it was mainly to Evan Ingram, who caught 19 of those balls for 238 yards and a 45-28 victory. And the Raiders defense needs to play a whole heck of a lot better than that, as Lawrence on first down gets sacked, and there is Devin Bush coming in on the blitz. He had an atrocious year last year, but we are going to try to use him a lot differently this year, as Lawrence to the air, completing his pass, and it's going to be 3rd and 10 as they got back to the original line of scrimmage. Lawrence to the air, he will throw, and there is Evan Ingram, who catches the ball over Stanley Camper, the rookie second-round pick. That was just a beautifully thrown football, as we have ETN getting brought down. Travis met him, and Crosby finishes him off. Lawrence back to the air now as he throws outside, missing his target, and it's going to be 3rd down and 5. Lawrence to the air, sets up a screen. ETN gets a block, a great block. He gets the first down, and they are in the red zone down at the 12-yard line. Lawrence to throw, rolling right, back to the middle of the field. It's going to be a short gain of just 2 yards, as Lawrence to throw once again, getting chased outside, and that's a completed pass. Christian Kirk has it, and Lawrence to the air, touchdown, Jaguars, and Evan Ingram. 19 catches last year, 0 touchdowns, but on his first 2 of the first drive of the season, he puts one of them in the end zone, and the Jags take an early 7-0 lead, as Thomas DeShong will lead out the offense for his second season as a starting quarterback. Was a very up and down player as a rookie, but ran for over 1,000 yards and showed his flashes. Now he's got DeAndre Hopkins out wide as they hand off Josh Jacobs, the all-pro running back, and he gets 5 yards, as we start every game with a Josh Jacobs carry, as DeShong will throw underneath the Shanny, and it's incomplete. 3rd down and 5. DeShong to the air will throw, and it's too low. That's a quick 3 and out as the Jags take over, and ETN will start their drive with an 11-yard carry, as Lawrence now under center hands it back to ETN. Back-to-back plays and back-to-back double-digit yard runs. And the Raiders' run defense looking a lot like how they did last year to start this season, as ETN 3 straight very well done handoffs as they get to a 2nd and 3. Lawrence completes the pass to Calvin Ridley in between a bunch of defenders, but now they will have 1st and 15 after a false start. I worry that this defense may take a little bit of time to gel. It's a lot of new starters, about 6 new starters on the defense, as Eric Armstead chases down the draw play, but it still gets them 8 yards. Lawrence over the middle has a completion and a wide open man, as this defense is taking its time to get settled in as they throw underneath, and Evan Ingram can't hang on. It's going to be 2nd and 10 under center. They drop the throw once more, quick outside. Evan Ingram, this time he has it, but doesn't go far. 3rd and 6. Lawrence over the middle, and it's almost picked off. Jeremy Chin from Carolina now on the Raiders. Got his hands on the football, almost turned him over as we now have the ball. Josh Jacobs takes a carry for 7 yards on first down, and Deshaun will go read option, hands it off to Jacobs, who powers ahead for a first down, our first of the game. Deshaun to throw now. He's rolling left, and he's throwing for DeAndre Hopkins, and Hopkins' first catch as a Raider is a first down. And we go back to Jacobs on the ground, who cannot find a whole lot of room and only gets 2 yards. Deshaun to the air now as he has a clean pocket. He'll tuck and run, and Deshaun's got the speed. Deshaun, the 1,000-yard rusher from last year, kicks off his rushing campaign with a great one as Jacobs gets caught on the outside. It's going to be 2nd and 13 after a loss of 3, and Deshaun just has to get rid of it. Incomplete, 3rd and long now. Deshaun to the air. He'll throw up top. He's going for Sharu, and it's caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Jaden Sharu catches the deep ball, and it's going to be 10-7. The Raiders strike. Now the defense back onto the field as we have Evan Ingram in an 8-yard catch, and Ingram holding on in traffic there as they throw outside. Christian Kirk. No gain, 3rd and 2, handoff, ETN cuts outside, Marietta meets him, but he can't bring him down. Camper finishes him off, but it's too late. First down as ETN this time can't break any tackles. He's got 3 as Lawrence to throw. Moving to his right, throws it back left out of bounds, just a throwaway. 3rd and 7, can we finally get off the field? Lawrence will throw over the middle, and it's caught. They give him the first down. Evan Ingram again. And now they throw outside, and it's caught for another first down, as we have just not been able to really do much so far. And defense, it's looking a lot like last year as ETN with a big hole. Marietta takes him down after a gain of 9. Lawrence, quick. Ingram again, just finding a soft spot in our coverage every single time. As in the red zone now, they throw, and it's off the head of Devin Bush. Even when he makes a good play, he's not paying attention, it seems like, as it's another completed pass. 3rd down. Can we finally stop him on 3rd? And it's finally going to be broken up in the end zone. Jags will settle for another field goal. We've been able to hold them to 2 field goals. The Jags have possessed this football for majority of this first half, and we got to get something going on offense and defense. We have the big ball to Jaden Sharu, but we've gone 3 and out otherwise, as Deshaun will throw screen pass at Sharu. First down with under 4 to go. We go play action. Deshaun rolling, and he gets sacked. That's Zadarius Smith, the new signing for the Jaguars, to pair with Orlando Skies. Now we roll left side with Deshaun. He throws it. It's over the head of DeAndre Hopkins. 3rd and 16. Deshaun up in the air for Hopkins, and it's caught. DeAndre Hopkins, that's what we brought him in for. As Jacobs on the outside, he's going to get 15 yards. But we brought Hopkins in to be a go-to guy on 3rd down, and that's exactly what he was there, as we have Josh Moss getting a carry for 8 yards. We go jet sweep play action. Deshaun steps up. He's going to run for it. Gets no gain. It's going to be 3rd and 2. Read option. This time Deshaun's going to get the first down, and he's going to get close to the 20-yard line, down at the 21. Deshaun back to the air. Quick pass. Shanny gets leveled. And it's going to be incomplete. 2nd and 10. Into the air we go. And he's going to be sacked. That's Orlando Skies. And Skies got him last year. He gets him this year. And he gets it again. And Orlando Skies with back-to-back sacks, killing our possession. Clock runs to 3. We kick a field goal. And it's no good. The sacks made it so a 54-yard field goal wasn't enough for the distance. And Daniel Carlson usually has a stronger leg than that, but the weather here in Jacksonville may be pushing that one around the wind, kicking directly into the wind. And those are where some of those costly sacks are going to come back to really hurt you, as if we had just not taken one of those, we would have had plenty of distance on the field goal. Instead, it's going to be a halftime score of 13-7. Jaguars have controlled this game, and we will see if Trevor Lawrence can keep cooking our defense. It's going to be a lot of time to get these guys to gel together, a lot of new starters, a lot of new players, but we're going to hope that we can make a quick turnaround in the second half and stop this Jaguars offense. The second half is here, and it is Raider football. We start the possession with a Jaden Sherrod pop pass, and Sherrod first down, and Sherrod's looking really good to start this season as we go triple option, and it's a fumble. Skies met him on the edge, and the Jags turn us over on the second play of the second half, and now Trevor Lawrence finds himself in great field position inside the 40-yard line. They go to fake to Kirk, and a handoff to Etienne, who spins away from a tackler. Travis brings him down. 1st and 10, already in the red zone as Lawrence misses his pass. They got a couple of more chances at this as Lawrence catches a snap. He'll go over the middle. That's inside the 10. Goal to go for the Jags as they go outside. And that's great coverage, but an even better throwing catch. Evan Ingram, his second touchdown. Ellis Travis had great coverage, but how do you stop the perfect throw as it's a 2-point try to make it a 14-point game? Kirk gets in, and the Raiders find themselves suddenly down by 14 as we go back on offense, trying not to fumble the football away this time. 2nd and 5, Deshaun to the air. He'll roll right, throw to Sherrod. That one kind of floated up there, but it's caught 3rd and inches now. We go Jacobs on the carry, who cuts it all the way outside, and Josh Jacobs gets 10 yards. It's going to be 1st and 10 again now as we go with Deshaun rolling, almost intercepted, couldn't loft it over the defender, and it's going to be a near turnover as Deshaun now will keep it on the ground, tries to cut it to the outside. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 instead as we go to handoff. Jacobs, nowhere to go, but we are fine running the football because we are going for it on 4th down. Deshaun caught Michael Mayer, and that's a tough catch to make, but he makes it. And now it'll be a quick throw outside. Shanny on the bubble, and there were just no blocks set up. 2nd down as we go Jacobs on the outside, right side of the field, and it's going to be a 2-yard gain. 3rd and 8, Deshaun to throw over the middle, and it's overthrown and picked off. Jordan Whitehead, he tried to hit Sherrod on the post route. It wasn't a bad read, just a bad throw. And Jags take over. Etienne now, he's got a big run, and Travis Etienne will go for 30 yards and a 1st down. Jags to throw to Evan Ingram, and they are just getting Ingram the ball every way they can, as it's going to be another catch for him. Another handoff to Etienne, who cuts it directly upfield and only gets a yard. Lawrence to throw once more, quick out, and even though we're double covering, he's just holding on to some of these passes. It's going to be a false start for the Jags, but they have just been able to move the football very methodically, very efficiently. Not as many big plays as they were hitting last year against us, but they are still hitting some of them. And Lawrence, a run from him. We don't see that very often from him as they go outside, and it's broken up. Ellis Travis in the end zone on Ridley. 2nd and 10. Lawrence now will throw, and caught. Etienne was wide open in the flats. Touchdown, Jags. It's 28-7 as the 3rd quarter is coming to a close very soon. And we throw one up top, and it's picked off. We went for Justin Perez, the rookie, and instead it's going to be a pick from Andre Cisco, and great field position for the Jags again, and we just cannot figure out this Jaguars football team. As they hand it off, it's going to be a 2-yard loss. They go Etienne once again, and another nice play. 2 carries, -1 yards. It's 3rd and 11, though. Can we get off the field? A quick 3 and out. Lawrence outside. Ellis Travis swats it down, and Travis, I think he's having a pretty good debut. He gave up that touchdown to Ingram, but even then, I can say he covered really well. It's just a hard one to defend. I think he's doing pretty good for our 1st-round draft selection as Deshaun gets hit as he's thrown. Gets it to Jacobs, who manages to turn nothing into 5 yards. And we go back to him. No read option. There goes Deshaun outside, and Thomas Deshaun ducks out of bounds. Still gets hit, but he will take the yardage. As to the 47 now, DeShong rolling right, throws it away out of bounds. We need to get more of that from DeShong, a lot more conservative plays from him as Jacobs hit as he was trying to make the catch. Incomplete. Fourth quarter is now underway with DeShong running ahead. Gets it to 4th and 2. We're going for it, obviously. Handing it off. Jacobs gets blown up in the backfield, and the Jaguars take over in good field position again as there goes Etienne for a couple, but I can't even really knock the defense that much. I mean, it's definitely better than how we played last year, but it's pretty hard to play defense when you're giving the opponent the ball midfield or beyond every single time. As with 31-7 being the score, it's going to take a miracle for a comeback, and Trayvon Walker sack's not going to help the comeback attempt. If DeAndre Hopkins gets his second catch of the game. Read option now. DeShong gets it to the outside, past the 20, past the 30, to the 35, and to the 38-yard line. A nice run from DeShong as we drop to throw once more. Rolling to his right. He will just launch one for Cheroux, and it's caught out of bounds. 2nd and 10. We go outside. Hopkins has it, and DeAndre Hopkins trying to get him a bit more involved as we go with DeShong rolling right. He's got Shanny wide open, and Kalen Shanny makes the catch to the 28-yard line. And it's going to be a Hopkins ball to the end zone, overthrown, and DeShong has to take a sack now on 2nd down. It sets up 3rd and 17, and the Jags defense coming up big in these situations. As DeShong's being chased, he's got Cheroux, but he wasn't ready for the football. It's 4th down and 17. DeShong, what do you got for us? And he's going to step up and throw. Shanny's got it, and Kalen Shanny's made some big plays. DeShong gets a little banged up. He's going to be okay. We're just going to have to finish this drive without him, but DeShong is fine. DeAndre Hopkins, on the other hand, he goes down, and he will not return to this game. Josh Jacobs finishes the drive off with a touchdown, and we will be going for 2 points. DeShong is back onto the field. He's fine. We go with Jacobs. 2-pointer is good, and it is a 2-score game with just 5 to go, so there is a chance if we can recover. But unfortunately, the onside kick bounces the Jaguars' way. Nate Hobbs brings him down, and the Jaguars will go with a run. And I feel like Etienne's yardage, it looks really nice, but aside for some big runs, it's either been a double-digit yard run or a run for a loss, as on 3rd down we get a stop. Hobbs made the play, and they will settle for a field goal. They knock it in. 4 to go. It's looking like this one is over potentially, but we will see what this offense can do as they try to take a shot for Shanny. It's incomplete. DeShong to the air. Will have Jacobs open, but he has to throw it on the run, and it's incomplete. If he was able to set his feet and load up for that one, it might have been a huge play. Instead, it's going to be another sack on 3rd down. 4th down try now. DeShong will get hit as he's throwing. The ball floats up there, but Shanny makes the catch for a 1st down, and I can say Kalen Shanny's been so impressive in this game. And I haven't even shown you a return highlight clip. It's been all him as a receiver. So that's something really positive going into his 2nd year, that maybe he's getting better as a wide receiver, not just a return man. 3rd down, though, for DeShong. As he rolls, hit as he's thrown, incomplete. 4th down again. I don't know if we've got another fluky conversion in us, but we just got a regular one as Josh Jacobs. That's a really nice play, and he's able to break a couple of tackles and get ahead to the 44-yard line. DeShong now to throw. Rolling again, and he's just going to throw it away. It's been a tough day for him. As DeShong to the air will have Cheroux for a catch. 2 minutes to go just about as we go play action. Roll to the right and hit as he's thrown once more. 4th down. Do we have a conversion in us? No, we do not. Jacobs gets fought out of bounds. Jags take over with just a minute to go. And there goes Etienne. And like I said, it's either a big run or nothing. Etienne hits a couple of big runs. He's going to finish with about 180 yards on the day, and the Jags run the clock out. And this is not the week one we had hoped for, as the Jaguars will defend their home turf, and we lost 45-28 last time. This time around it is 31-15, and I can't even say it's that much on the defense, as 350 yards is not ideal to give up, but it is certainly not a insurmountable amount of yards to give up. They just have the football in great territory as we turn the ball over 3 times, and we're a worse team on third down. But if you look at what Trevor Lawrence was able to do in this game, they're for over 500 last time on us, and this time we held them under 200. So I think it's a really big improvement. Now, the rush defense still has to get better, but there are signs there that are looking pretty decent for us. It's just, week one, I didn't expect everything to come together perfectly. We just have to, continue the season and see if we can put things together and gel a bit better and, get some of these new players that make some plays for us. As now we check a little bit of an injury update, and we brought DeAndre Hopkins in with a lot of hype, and unfortunately he's going to be out for half the season. But we have more to cover, as let's go on to week 2, where the Raiders bounce back and get a victory where we outgained our opponent. Thomas DeShong threw a touchdown. Didn't have to throw it all that much because we had Josh Jacobs on the ground putting up 150 yards. Sharu caught the touchdown, and Sharu and Shanny having to pick up the slack for the lack of DeAndre Hopkins. I feel a lot more comfortable with them as they both had great week 1s and doing their thing on week 2. But now that we are 1-1, we wrapped up the gameplay portion. Let's get on to the draft portion of this video. This is your college football update, and we are back for a 3rd season of college football updates and more players to talk about, more stories to tell. And I decided to do things a little bit differently this season, as we were kind of skipping over the first 2 weeks and just kind of dropping us in to the first couple of weeks, as it's not really all that noteworthy when, Alabama and Georgia and all them are scheduling like Chattanooga to face, and you don't really care about some of the, the warm-up tune-up games. So we are here in week 3 now, as a lot of teams have played their first and second games of the year. We started off with the USC still being at the top, as they are the defending national champions. Despite losing Cordula and Bowen, they still have a really talented roster. Teams like TCU, UCLA, Georgia, Texas, the usual suspects. But we got Florida State up here at 9. They're a big team for this year, and they have a Heisman candidate in wide receiver Dwayne Wooten, who we'll be covering later on this year. Stanford is a lot better this year. They are at 13, Oklahoma at 15, and you can see at number 14, Northern Illinois, who has made the jump to the Big Ten Conference, and they are going to be in a big-time matchup next week, as they will be taking up Minnesota. Oklahoma State will be facing Iowa State, and we will be talking a bit about that because Oklahoma State has a Heisman candidate quarterback and a player that's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. In week 5, we will see Oklahoma and Texas Tech, Alabama, Tennessee. So we have a couple of games that we'll be talking about in the next episode, but for now, every team kind of did their thing in weeks 1 and 2, and let's get on to some of these players. How about we start with one of those Heisman candidate players, and it is running back Trevor Harris out of Notre Dame. Now, there's a very good chance that we go through this entire season and we do not see Notre Dame ever crack the polls, because Notre Dame, sadly, they're just not a very great team this year, and they haven't been this year, last year, the year before that. It's been a rough go for Notre Dame, but their lone bright spot has been Trevor Harris, who has gotten significantly better every single season. He has been a workhorse of a running back, and he has gotten basically every significant touch on this offense. Last year, he carried the ball about 250 times, and this year, you can very well expect to see that number go up. Now, if I had to compare him to somebody, it is Nick Chubb, and that is very high praise for a guy that just breaks tackles at a very, very high rate, is about as physical of a runner as it gets. Probably one of the 2 most physical runners you will see in the entire nation, as I say one of the 2 most, and that's a little foreshadowing for a guy we'll be covering very late in the season. but he has great burst through the hole, is able to be patient, find the right way to go. He is not the fastest guy in the world. He will get chased down if he breaks free. He's not going to be a guy who's likely to break like a 70-yard touchdown run. I'm saying probably about 50 yards down the field, he might be getting tracked down. But, he utilizes his great acceleration, his great burst, and when he finds that hole and he hits it with force, he hits it with power, and he's taking a defender with him all the way to the first down marker. He's a really fun to watch running back, and if it wasn't for him being on Notre Dame would probably be a team not even in bowl contention. So just purely off a value perspective, he is maybe one of the most valuable players for his team and all of college football. And as he projects to the NFL, I can see him going late first, early second. I think what really holds him back is it's basically a liability as a pass catcher. He is a non-factor. He will not catch the football. He caught 11 balls last year. He's caught about 19 in his career. He'll probably catch around the same amount in this upcoming season unless he takes a significant leap. But usually when running backs are going really high up, it's because they're really special, because they have these do-it-all traits and these do-it-all, they can do everything, like a Jahmyr Gibbs got taken, or Bijan, who's just really special and can do it all. He's not that, but he's still more than deserving of being a first-round running back, because just purely as a runner of the football, he might be the best in the entire class. Let's jump to the defensive side of the football as we have safety out of Penn State, Corey Flanagan. And as the prime of the Penn State defense has already gone to the NFL with guys like Dexter Parker and Harry Scott last year, we still have one more lingering piece of that defense, and it is its heart and soul, that being Flanagan. While Dexter Parker was the most productive, Harry Scott was probably the best player, Corey Flanagan was the leader, was the smartest, and was the guy who was just the field general and was calling all the shots, making all the plays, and he was such a valuable piece to that Penn State defense. And by the time he ends his college career, he's probably going to end up starting over 50 games in his college career. He really could have committed to the NFL this past season. He was definitely eligible and had served his time in Penn State, but he loves that school so much that he decided to stay for a final season, try to make a run at maybe a national title or whatever. With Flanagan, you are getting an incredibly smart guy who can come in and be maybe the smartest guy on any defense in the NFL. He's that guy when it comes to his intelligence and how he sees the field. He can excel at any area of the field. You need him to play up top, he can do that. You need him to play in the middle, he can do that. You need him to play all the way down up in the box, he can do that. He can play a little bit of nickel, he can do a little bit of everything. And he is, maybe not blessed with the most athleticism in the world, as if you are going to play him, it's probably best to not play him single high safety up top, because he has not got the game-changing speed to keep up with all of these other incredible players that are coming into the NFL these days. He's not going to keep up with these 4.3 40s, but he makes up for his lack of athleticism, his lack of physicality, with just the ability to know where to be at the right time and where to call the plays, when to call the plays, how to call the shots. He is like the quarterback of a defense with the way he plays, and most often you see linebackers getting that nod, being the quarterback of the defense, but for Penn State they gave it to Flanagan because he was able to handle all of it. Now, he is also a safety who's maybe not the best when it comes to being the only safety. A lot of teams nowadays do like to just run basically one main safety. The other guy is kind of like a hybrid linebacker safety box player. It would be best for him not to be in a scheme like that, because he does kind of need some of that help because he lacks some of that athleticism. But if you put him in the right system, you put him in the right situation, he's going to make all the plays. The comp for him is Eric Weddle. He can do just about anything, and he's never going to jump off the stat sheet with, incredible numbers. He's not going to go crazy at the combine, but when he takes that IQ test, when you interview him, you're going to love him, and he's going to be a player that fans like, but players and coaches love. And we move to our third and final player of the day, and it's the best of the trio, that being tackle Blaine Hastings out of USC. This is USC's kind of prized player this year, as with Cordula and Bowen going last year, it leaves Blaine Hastings to be the top player on USC this year, and he's a certified top 5 player in this class. And while USC may not have the superstar quarterback and superstar wide receiver that they did last year, they are still very much a favorite in the entirety of the NCAA. Part of it because of Hastings, who's going to come in and translate very well as a tackle in the NFL. You take a look at one of the big things that probably catches your eye: 0 sacks allowed, not just last year, but in his entire career. 29 games played, 0 sacks allowed. And it was never really his fault before Lance Bowen got there. I talked about some of the struggles at quarterback when Cordula, was a sophomore and was trying to get someone to throw him the football. Blaine Hastings was never the problem. The offensive line was never the problem. They just didn't have a quarterback. Bowen came in, made Hastings' job a whole lot easier, and he did not allow a single sack. First team all-conference, first team all-NCAA, and as he projects to the NFL, I think the very natural comp is Lane Johnson, who went a very long time himself without allowing a sack, and also they do share the same position of right tackle, where, typically when you're drafting a tackle that high, you're probably playing him at left tackle. You want your franchise left tackle blocking your quarterback's blind side, but very rarely you'll get a tackle like Hastings, like Lane Johnson, who you don't care what side he plays on. He's just a really good player, and you need him on your team because you're going to lock down that spot for the next decade to come. And I guess that's where maybe some of his negatives do come in, is he's not a left tackle. He's a right tackle. You can play him at left, but he's a dominant right tackle. I don't know how he'd be at left. I think he'd be fine, but if you want to guarantee a dominant player, play him at right tackle. And the other thing is he suffered a major injury as a freshman. He tore his Achilles as a freshman player. Didn't get to play much, obviously. And, I guess we can say as a positive, he really came in off of an Achilles tear, sophomore season, played amazing. 0 sacks allowed. Then last year, same thing. So it doesn't seem like the injury has impacted him a whole lot, but the injury history is there. So just thought I'd note that. He has suffered a major injury in his career, so it could happen again. Maybe not. Hasn't affected him yet, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing Blaine Hastings going in the top 5 next year, and any team that gets him is probably locking down their tackle spot for a very long time. But that will do it for the college football update, and in the next episode, we will be simulating a game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and then we will be taking on the Indianapolis Colts on the road, taking on Devontae Adams once again. Anthony Richardson now in his year 3. We'll see how that Colts offense fares against our defense, who really needs to get things together. Things are going to start getting loud if this team can't start to play better. Coaches usually get 3 years. If you can't really make an impact after 3 years, you might be on your way out. So next game's a really big game to show just how much this team has gotten better. I will see you all in the next one.